Okay, let's start talking about some of the issues. And let me explain why it's so important that you, as industry folks, understand the possibilities of how these issues are going to be taken on Capitol Hill and the agencies, but, but the chances they're going to go anywhere. It doesn't mean you don't work on them. I don't mean that. But so you can evaluate as an association whether you belong to a firm or as an industry, so you can start to understand the types of resources that you expend on a particular advocacy or a lobbying campaign. I'll give you an example. Many years ago, I was with the mining and concrete industries, and I'm going to date myself because this is the early 90s now. And Capitol Hill was considering what's called Occupational Safety and Health Act, OSH Act, but there was a reform to the OSH Act. And I come from industry, and we were looking to reform the Occupational Safety Health Act. And we had poured a lot of resources, a lot of time. I'm a lobbyist. A lot of time into the reformation of the OSH Act. One day, and for a long period of time, a good year and a half. So one day, the chairman of the board of the organization that I represented, he was a concrete producer. Actually, he produced aggregate, but he also produced concrete as well. And he called me to say, "Mark, tell you what, as one of our lobbyists, let's have a meeting in terms of what we're doing on this campaign." And he said, "Can you meet me in Las Vegas?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm happy to meet you in Las Vegas. Twist my arm." So I met him in Las Vegas. We sat down and we had a long meeting. And he asked me, "Okay, let's talk a little bit about the campaign and the resources that we're putting into the reformation of the OSH Act." And he point blank asked me, and this is years ago, when I was a young, brash guy, he asked me, "Okay, what are the chances that we are going to get what we want on Capitol Hill, and what are the chances that we will actually be able to reform OSHA?" It was called OSHA reform at the time. And I said, it's a pretty good chance. Pretty good chance. I think we look pretty good. And then he sat back and he said, "Okay, let's come at this a different way. I'm going to look at you eye to eye and ask you now, without the BS, tell me the chances we're going to get our way on Capitol Hill this year." He's not talking about the future, which is important because he wanted to assess a longer-term plan. "What are the chances we're going to get our way this year?" And he looked at me in the eye and I said, "There's no way that Congress is going to reform OSHA this year." So in other words, what he was assessing is not that it's not important and not that we stop, but how much more resources are we going to pour into as an industry or an association into something that maybe we pull back a little bit and we start to evaluate our campaign. So that's why I'm being so honest with you. Hey everybody, this is Mark Riso coming to you from Washington, D.C. Hope you all had a fantastic New Year and a fantastic holiday season. In 2020, we are now entering into the second half of the 116th congressional cycle. And what I'll be doing in 2020 is to not just update you on the issues on Capitol Hill that impact contractors directly. And by the way, not just Capitol Hill, but regulatory agencies as well. But I'm going to talk to you a little bit about, as we go along in the year, talk to you a little bit about the chances of some of these issues actually moving. It's really important that people understand, not just all issues are important, but understand not just the chances, but to evaluate and to assess what types of resources as an industry to pour into an issue with regard to its possible success on Capitol Hill. What's very, very common are industry associations, and firms tend to pour a lot of resources into issues that really may not have a chance that year. Again, it's always worth educating lawmakers on issues. I don't mean that. But it's very, very important that you understand what's possible, what's not possible, or what may be possible the next year or the year after. People like me are not paid to tell you if it's raining outside. I'm paid to tell you if it's going to rain tomorrow so that you can prepare as a business. Also, I have a YouTube channel, Mark Riso. If you haven't seen it as yet, please think about watching and please subscribe. I'm going to be doing a lot of this in 2020, and I always welcome your feedback. I got a very pointed, very vicious feedback from a contractor yesterday on a YouTube social media video that I put out just the other day, and he let me know he let me know what he thought of me, and I got back to him to say, tell me something I don't know. And I certainly taught him how to actually spell some of the words that he was calling me. But you're always welcome to get back to me, good and bad. So for right now, I'm going to break this up in segments. So keep on watching. I'm going to break this up in issues. Let's get started.